Hi, y'all. I'm Jorge Arza. I'm the regional director in the Midwest, and I'm the executive sponsor for Orale Cafe. Today, I'm really excited to share a recipe from my family that we use every time we have a holiday. I'm Cuban, so desserts are a big deal. Actually, dessert is the meal. Everything else is extra. So I'm excited to share with you today Tres Leches, which is really easy to make, and it is a wonderful dessert. So we're going to start real simple. We're going to start, first of all, with preheating an oven. So you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Super important, because if you don't do that, and you're going to be waiting for your oven to heat up, and we don't do that. So we're going to be prepping while the oven's heating. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use a sifter. So you're wondering, why need a sifter? You're going to sift flour and baking soda together. Really important, because it gets actually fluffier, and it prevents pockets, as we will see in a second. This is kind of cool. So as you can see, it makes it a little bit less clumpy, and it's really, really important to use. So you're going to be seeing that. If you can see, you want to make it look like that so that cake has no air pockets. Super, super important. My wife would be proud, because I normally don't do that, so we're going to do it today. Baking powder, same thing. You're thinking, why baking powder, George? It's important to have. It helps give it a little bit of lift. It also wants to be incorporated nicely. And if you notice, there's little granules in there. You don't want to keep those. You want to take them out. And I have a garbage can here, so we're going to dump this. And this is what you'll have. That's your dry stuff. Now we're going to switch over to wet. So one thing I would tell you is with wet things, you're going to need 5 eggs. I don't have eggs today, so I'm going to just tell you, you need 5 eggs. You're also going to need a stick of butter. An entire stick of butter. And this butter has been sitting out for a while, so it's soft, which is really important, because if you ever try to mix hard butter with something, not so good, and it usually ends up on the floor in my house. It flies everywhere. Not so good, and then Callie, the dog, usually eats it. Not so good. And then sugar. You're thinking sugar, a cup of sugar is going to go in with the butter. And you're thinking sugar and butter. I don't know about you, but those are 2 great ingredients. You need to try it. It's really, really good. We're going to be mixing this together. You're going to be putting in the 5 eggs in the bowl, and you're going to be mixing it. Normally, what I would do, and I wouldn't do it this way, I would do it with an actual mix master. We have one at home. Highly recommend it, because the butter actually mixes nicely together, and it makes it a lot better experience. So you're going to be doing that. Also, you're going to be adding in a teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla goes into a lot of things, y'all. It's sweet. It gives it a little bit of a bump to the flavor of it. It'll show up also in the whipped cream as well, so don't put this away. We're going to need it again. And you're going to put this together, and you're going to mix it. Normally, it's a lot creamier looking. You're like, George, it looks kind of a clump. It does, but if you use a mix master, it actually looks really cool, and it mixes together. Now, when you're done, you're going to move the wet stuff to the dry stuff. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put it together, and you're going to continue. Now, if you use a mix master, it actually works a lot better, and it makes it nice and creamy. So right now, you're missing eggs, but I will tell you that's how you put it together, and you create the product. And I'm going to wipe my hand here as we're talking, because we want to make sure we're keeping things clean. You're going to put this aside for a second, and you're going to take out a tray, a large tray, and I'll show you that in a moment, and you're going to combine all the liquid into the large tray. And this large tray is going to go into the oven for 30 minutes. Super important to do, you guys, because what's going to happen is the cake is going to cook inside the oven, and you're going to have to, every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, you're going to use a fork, and you're going to put holes in the cake. And what you want to do is you want to have all the milk kind of drain into the cake, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but that's the whole point. So now the cake is in the oven. We're getting ready. This is put away. It's the magic of baking, and I'm going to show you the next step, which is kind of cool. So hold on a second. Voila! So the cake is out of the oven. This is really cool. So you've noticed there's a little bit of milk in here, so I've already got it started. But the cake comes in out of the oven. You're going to let it sit for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. You want it cool to touch. What you don't want to do is you don't want to pour the milk or any of that stuff when the cake is hot, because the cake will get really soggy, and it's not so good. So here's one of my favorite parts. It's Tres Leches. What's going to happen? You're going to use 3 milks. First and foremost, you're going to use Carnation instant milk, and it's evaporated milk. Real simple to do. You're going to pour it in together in a bowl. You're going to put in, I'm actually going to do it because I think it's kind of easier to do. You're gonna pour it in a bowl. Real simple. This is evaporated milk. Some of you that cook with it a lot, it's real easy. This is my favorite. I'm gonna move this over so you can see what I'm talking about. This is my favorite. Anybody that has ever had condensed milk, I'm that guy that eats condensed milk out of a can with a spoon. Yep, I'm that guy. It's so good, it'll make you sick, but you'll love it. It's awesome. I love doing it. My wife double boils it and makes actually something called dulce leche, which maybe that'll be something we'll do next time. So I'm pouring condensed milk, and if you notice, it's kind of viscous. So there's a lot of body to this, and that's good. It'll come through an entire can. So then, after that, I'll save you me drinking out of that can. We're gonna do a cup, here we go. A cup of milk, whole milk, not that skim milk or that 2% milk, real milk, whole milk. We want the fats because it's important in the cake. It makes a big difference and it tastes better too. So then we're gonna mix it, and I'm gonna use this because I don't have anything else to mix it with. We're gonna mix it together. Now I've got my cake. I've got this all mixed up, and you will literally wanna mix it a little bit more. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pour this mixture onto the cake. I've already done that already because we would be here for a few hours. So you pour it in there, you cover it up with saran wrap, and you put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. And what's gonna happen is, when I poured it in this tray a while ago, the actual liquid covered the entire cake, so you didn't even see the cake. A few hours ago, I took it out, and look what you got. It's totally absorbed, which is really, really cool. And that's actually what you want. So let's put this away for a second. But I am gonna take this because I'm gonna need it for a moment. This is what you have. The next step is vanilla. It's actually vanilla, it's whipped cream with vanilla. I like vanilla a lot. So I make whipped cream by hand, easy. You can buy store-made stuff, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're gonna do it. Homemade is really easy. All it is heavy whipping cream, a container, it's actually a cup and a half of heavy whipping cream, a cup of sugar, and our friend, vanilla. You mix it in there. And if you really want to be wild and crazy, you can add bourbon and all other stuff to it. But we made it easy and simple, and that's what we did. So the next step what we're going to do is now I'm going to actually cover the cake with whipped cream. So it's real simple to do. And if you notice, it still has this body to it, which is nice and easy. And we do a little whipped creaming here. I can tell you, when I first started doing this, I was always like, oh, it's a lot of work, whipped cream. I can buy it in the store. It's so much easier. Can I just say, it tastes so much better when you make it homemade. My kids do it. I do it. And my philosophy is, if I can make whipped cream, anybody can make whipped cream. And whipped cream is neat because you can add different flavors. You can add different liqueurs to it if you want. You can do all kinds of things. This is just plain whipped cream. As if you can see, pretty easy to make, right? Pretty simple to decorate. I'm not the world's best decorator, but you don't have to be the world's best decorator. You just have to cover it up and make it simple. So we're almost done. So I don't want to see the top of anything here. And here is what Tres Leches looks like. Pretty cool, huh? I'm gonna put this down over here. So this is what you should end up with. Really cool cake. So I'm gonna attempt to see if I can do this because it's been cold for a while. I'm gonna cut a piece out and share it with you. I'm gonna use this very fancy plate that my wife shared. Hey, that's what you should do. I like to use this kind of a spatula. It's heavy, it's sharp, it could be a weapon, but it doesn't have to be. And Tres Leches is really, I can feel it's really spongy. Let's see if I can cut it out. And if you can see, there's milk coming up already. So I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. The first one's always gonna be a little funky. Oh, not bad. And if you notice, there's no milk in there. There's always gonna be milk. There's supposed to be. We'll do another piece too. If I can get this one out. Let's try this one then. Let's see here. It is a little tight. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna taste it first. So I did not bring a spoon, so I need to grab a spoon from the table. so I can taste it. Tres Leches is a wonderful dessert, y'all. It's easy to make, simple to do. It looks really good, as you can see. Really simple. And I will thank you, Megan, my sous chef here. I'm eating on a camera. Look at this. This is amazing. Oh my God. Amazing. So, I'm just one of many different meals that you're going to see in the next couple of days. We're doing one every week. Please stick around. Join us in a little bit, and you're going to see what we made as a meal with the whole Hora de Café team. Thanks for joining with me, and thank you for spending time. See you soon. Take care. So hopefully you can edit.
Natural. Nuestra Mesa.